Hey, yo, what is up guys, Omni here. Today I want to talk about Light and Darkness Dragons again. I want to show you a few combos, a bit of gameplay, discuss a few cards you can play, especially against Lunalight, since the matchup is very tough, and also get behind a few thoughts behind the deck list and what ratios to play. And let's go over the video. Okay, so let's go over the first combo. For this combo we need Dark End Dragon or Light End Dragon, and this combo was made for Urgula, and we are assuming that our opponent is a fish and doesn't interact with us. But it's just a showcase, right? So you can see what you can do with those cards. So we shoot off Dark End Dragon, banish something from the extra deck, then we use this on-field effect to fusion summon, send Urgula and something from the hand to the grave, then he will trigger an Arthalion, we bounce the stuff back. Dragluxion will get Tachyon Primal. Before we special summon out him, we get out Harbinger. We special summon him to the opponent's field, he will still trigger and give us the trap, and now we will shoot off Ketu. And Ketu will still give us the ability to fusion summon, since our opponent now has a monster on the field. Also, in the moment where we fusion summoned, Arthalion and the grave will trigger, because two monsters were sent to the graveyard, so he can special summon himself out again. Then we use Urgula to get Lukias back to the hand, normal summon him, since we haven't normal summoned yet, get Faimena. Then we link him off into Spirit with the Eyes of Blue, so we can make seals. Then we shoot off Rahu. Technically you don't have to send Faimena there, but I will send Faimena here and Mululu, so we get both traps. Right, we will set both traps, and the idea here is that we can use Mululu in our opponent's turn to get back Faimena. So this is now our end board, we will pass on that, and then we will assume our opponent, it's his turn, it's a draw phase, and the first thing we will do is use Heretic Seals to bounce back the Primal Dragon, so we can special summon him out to our field in the draw phase, so the trap is alive, so we have protection from everything. Right, then Seals in the graveyard will trigger. We can special summon out Dark and Evaporation Dragon, so now we have a Light and a Dark Dragon. Once we use Mululu to go into Arthalion, we can bounce back Faimena and then use Arthalion to get Faimena back to the hand. And then we can use Faimena to fusion summon into Light and Dark and Super Mega Dragon, Light and Darkness Dragonlord. Okay, so this is our end board basically. We have one spell negate, one bounce, another spell negate, and also we kind of have the Mululu negate, but I don't think it will come up if you play it out like that. So this is the first combo. Then we have another one in which we will start with Primal Dragon and Rahu. For this combo we will assume that we will have a Dracotail name in the hand, which we can normal summon, and Rahu, together with the Primal in the hand. So it's basically stuck in the hand, and we don't have rank 8 access, right? Because, or we will start the turn with Rahu, so there's no XYZ summon for us. If you don't have a Dracotail name in your hand, then you will just basically end on one trap less, one Dracotail trap less, but we will just assume we will have at least Pan in the hand, okay? We shoot off Rahu, send Urgula and Pan from the hand, then they both will trigger together with Arthalion. We will bounce back one card from the grave, then we will set one trap already in Ketu. We will use Ketu to get Lukias. Then we normal summon out Lukias to get Faimena. Then we use Faimena, send it from the hand, so we can make a fusion summon. And we will use Lukias and the Primal to make Secretarian Dragon. Now Lukias will trigger and set the second trap. And then we can use Secretarian Dragon to shuffle back or put onto the bottom of the deck Lukias, so we can special summon out the Primal, which then will trigger to give us access to the trap. And now we can use Urgula to get back Faimena to our hand. So here right now we can still use Faimena to make something like another Arthalion or Gula Mail or I don't know, Philia Regis, which is not so bad either. And yeah, that's about it. That's the end board. I think for just a Rahu in the hand and something that you don't want to see in your hand, it's still okay, I guess. So let's go over a few gameplay. I played against Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi pile.exe with breakers, and this is the perfect showcase to show you why I like the deck as it is right now, because breakers are useless against you. Usually something like a single evenly can ruin your day. Not saying it will, but the probability is very high. Our opponent is on a breaker, non-engine, and therefore in our turn he's basically a fish. He won't interact with us, so we can produce a very generous board. And he's starting with 2 breakers. He was very smart and just was sending the Primal Dragon, but we can still bounce it back with Mululu fusion into our Thalion to get it back into our hand. Also, very small disclaimer, this is game 3, and I forgot to include the Light and Darkness Dragon in the extra deck. If he was in the extra deck, I probably would have used seals here already to go into Dark End Dragon and use Faimena paired with Dark End Dragon and Secretarian to make Light and Darkness Dragonlord. So at this point he has 3 cards in the hand. He used a bunch of breakers already, so he alone should win us the game from there. But unfortunately we can do it because he's not in the extra deck. So from here I will just negate everything that comes across my eyesight, and I see a "do you want to change something" button. I will just hit it with yes, and it's enough, right? Here I bounced the ritual monster because if it's in the grave it was ritual summoned already, and Mitsurugi can special summon out everything if they have something going on. And once it's in the hand again, I think it will lose its ability to special summon it out again without being ritual summoned. So now I think we will just use Magnamhut, and this is the final nail in the coffin, and we win the game. So let's go over a few thought processes when we try to make a deck playing the Light End and Dark End Dragons. So first of all, I want to play it paired with the Tachyon stuff, just because it gives it another layer. It's very forced, right? So it's kind of telegraphed, or how to say it. It's a stiffy game plan, but I want to try it out. And with this being said, I need rank 8 axes, so I need rank 8 level 8 bodies, and therefore I will just max out both at 3, for my deck at least. And with having 6 more ways to fusion summon, I think it's also fair to say that we can play more names just for consistency. Alright, you saw the Urgula combo, looked pretty decent to me, so fair to play or max them out. And just pan because I can at this point. By maxing out those 2 names, Faimena turn 0 just becomes instantly much better, just because usually I was very iffy on using it turn 0, but I think if you have a combination of Mululu and Urgula or Pan, or Pan and Mululu, it just instantly becomes a no-brainer to use Faimena turn 0, which makes it another hand trap, so to say. And as you can see, the non-engine space is not that big with playing such a big package of Light and Dark and Dragons. So another thing is the Lunalight Matchup. Usually I would rely on having Swamp in the hand and a way to get into Dragoon, which is not a very good game plan against Lunalight, and I respect the deck very much because the engine itself doesn't provides any solution to that. And with Dragoon you also need to negate something that will be destroyed on the field, so it gets the attack, I think, and therefore your opponent needs to play into it again, which is not really a reliable game plan. Another way to go around it, I'm not gonna say it's a better idea, but it sounds more realistic. Let's say we go post game 1 into game 2 post siding. And since we have Light End and Dark End Dragon, which don't need a normal summon to fusion summon, it's fair to say that we can just side out a few normal summons and then just hope that we draw into Fuwalos or Meowls, which then hopefully let us draw into Lava Golem, so we can out the Liga Dancers, then special something something, because we don't have normal summon anymore, and then from there take our game plan as we usually would do. If you don't like the idea with Lava Golems, you can also try to use Metaltronus, simply because Liga Dancer says it's unaffected except by the effects of Lunalight cards. So it's a dark beast warrior. If you use Metaltronus, you can special summon out Perfume Dancer, which is also a beast warrior. So once she's in the grave, you can banish her and make all monsters your opponent control lose attack equal to their original def. Liga Dancer is affected by this and will be left with 300 attack. So you can out it much easier than with those high stats. So this is one other way to out it. What you can also do, if you are on the Metaltronus train, there are a bunch of very nice targets for them. Another random target is High King Caesar. It randomly just has the same attribute and stats as Gulamel. So if your locals plays a bunch of Fiendsmith, you could play Metaltronus just to special summon out Gulamel. You already have then a Dracotail name on board, so if you have Faimena in the hand, you can make Arphalion much more easier. And also one other thing you can pair with Metaltronus is if your opponent plays Yami, they will probably post-siding will try to pivot into Herald, because they know you don't want to get your stuff banished, so having him as part of the end board is probably essential for them. And what you can do is use Metaltronus, target Herald. They can't negate because they can't respond with it. It's also negated then, and you can special summon out Elder Entity Ents. Then they will probably be able to make another Herald, but by that point you probably should have Elder Entity Ents in the graveyard already, and then you can banish her to force the negate of the second Herald or just pop it immediately, which seems also decent. So Metaltronus has a few cool targets, and I think it will come and go as a meta relevant card. But as of right now, I will try out the Meowths and Lava Golem route, just because for some reason Lunalight is like semi-popular. You will face it often enough that you want to respect it, but not often enough so you want to dedicate more than a few tech cards against it. And I think Meowths and Lava Golem are a bit more versatile. Though, if you could start a tournament at the top card, I think Metaltronus would be better, but this is just not the way it goes. With all of this being said, have an amazing day, have an amazing night, and in general have an amazing life. Omni out.